I'm nervous for Bryce Young. I'm nervous. And admittedly, when it comes to quarterback play, especially assumptions of quarterback play, I do tend to be more skittish than most. I've played the position. I played it at the University of Delaware. Definitely not the NFL. But I think I think I have an appreciation for how hard it is. Okay, because of maybe that's it, right? I know how hard it was at the University of Delaware, so I can't imagine how hard it would be going up against the best of the best of the best. So as soon as certain things start happening, my antennas go up probably a little earlier and maybe a little bit more aggressively than most. But one of the things that scares me is when the myths come before the production. There's one thing for after a guy's an MVP or after a guy wins a Super Bowl or after a guy is a multiple-time Pro Bowler, suddenly you start hearing the myths, right? About how in 8th grade they asked their coach if they could walk in and watch more film before school, or the myths of how competitive he is and how he never lost a ping pong match in the locker room, and the one time somebody beat him, he made him play 15 more times to beat him over and over again. Like when the myths start becoming before the production, I get nervous because it feels to me like people are trying to convince themselves of something. Bryce Young, and I only know this because everybody said it. Local news up in Charlotte, the beat reporters in written form at ESPN, at The Athletic, in social media. I couldn't turn anywhere after yesterday without hearing Bryce Young talk trash to the defense. He's a completely new player. Bryce Young, polite, always says the right thing, almost Russell Wilson-ish with the media. Bryce Young trash talked. Even J.C. Horn was asked about it. J.C. Horn, the $100 million corner for the Panthers, talked to the media about Bryce talking more trash.
Yeah, he talking way more this year. He talking trash every day. It's getting fun. He came up to me out of practice today and told me he gonna stop going back and forth with me though. He said I just be talking, so I don't think he could take the heat. So he gonna stop talking to me.
Oh, he's talking trash. Which, by the way, we'll address that last part, right? Going up to the guy you're talking trash with after practice and saying, I'm going to stop talking trash with you. So interesting maneuver. Here is, according to the ESPN article, part of the trash talk that took place. J.C. Horn, who you just heard from, $100 million defensive back, all-pro, overheard the play call, the offense's play call. And then he told the rest of the defense what the play was going to be, all the way down to what routes were going to be run. Typically, this is it now. From this point, I'm just going to read the next sentence directly from the ESPN article. The typically mild-mannered, soft-spoken quarterback got animated, yelling at Horn that he shouldn't do that, saying, y'all should believe in yourself and not have to resort to such things. It went on for more than 10 seconds. Now I'm going to stop reading from the article. 10 seconds? He said, y'all should believe in yourself. And it went on for 10 seconds? The Athletic took it one step further. It was reminiscent of the training camp trash talking that would take place at Wofford among Cam Newton and defensive players Josh Norman and Thomas Davis, one of several players who attended Tuesday's practice. I'm going to stop reading from The Athletic now. It wasn't that. I promise you. It was not Cam Newton versus Josh Norman. I promise you. And it was not reminiscent of... They actually fought. Cam Newton is a legendary trash talker. He has some of the best mic'd up trash talks in NFL history. It was not, I didn't hear all of it. I guarantee you, whatever, like you shouldn't have to listen to our play call is not a Cam Newton level trash talk. It was not Josh Norman versus if it's Bryce, if it is actually in Bryce's personality to trash talk, great, love it. I want my quarterback being himself. If he is trying to be something he is not, bad. I hate it. I do not want the quarterback being someone he is not. It's way more important to lead your way than it is to lead however you think you should. What I don't like the most is everyone seems to be tripping over themselves to be over complimentary of everything he does. The passes are all dimes. They're all on point. They're all right on the money. The trash talk is all reminiscent of Cam Newton. Everything he does is just another unbelievable masterpiece. And I'm not saying they're not, right? I'm not saying the pass was off target. I'm not saying it wasn't a dime. I'm saying having to repeat how awesome a practice throw was feels like everybody is trying to convince themselves of something. When have you ever heard an all-time great quarterback was lighting it up at minicamp? Or when have you ever heard this many people say it? Like, obviously, the social media teams are putting out, like, look at this dime from Mahomes, and they played in slow motion. Like that's happening. But when have you heard Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or any of these guys are just, oh, my goodness, it's unbelievable what he does against the defense when everyone's wearing helmets only? There are no pity likes in professional sports. I like to, and I think most people naturally reserve praise until the production calls for it. Or else it seems like everyone is trying to will it into, like, speak it into existence. I do that on the show, right? Every once in a while, we'll get a ladder challenge pick or a first goal scorer, and I'm just like, Svetch, I think he's going to score first. Not because I actually think he is, but I really think he needs a goal, and I'm just going to speak it into existence. If that is the way everybody is talking after a minicamp practice, my antennas go up. And I want to go back to what I said first. It's because I think I have a heightened awareness, or maybe an over-respect. Maybe I do it too much for how difficult what he is going to be asked to do this season is. And how much falls on his shoulders. This season's success or failure, more so than on anybody else, falls on Bryce Young's shoulders. If he plays great, like if he walks out there and he's a top 10 quarterback this year, the sky is the limit for the Panthers. If he plays bottom 10 football, the floor is really low for the Panthers. And I don't want to set expectations as if they're going to be great, or as if he's going to be that top 10 guy, or as if he's going to be the quarterback we saw in the Falcons game at the end of last year in every game, because he trash talked J.C. Horn in minicamp. And that shows some kind of a mental switch. Especially when, if you pay attention to the message he's actually putting out there, there's articles in GQ where he's quoted. There was the speech that he gave at his youth camp. When he's involved in these conversations, he's talking about meditation. He's talking about deep breathing. He's talking about these other sports psychology things that he employs to get himself into the right mind space. That's not the fiery, edgy guy that everybody else is trying to pass to us. Which, by the way, I don't have a problem with either one. I've played with athletes that are smiling on the sidelines, and they're great athletes. I've played with athletes that are mean on the sideline, and they're great athletes. I've played with athletes that trash talk. I've played with athletes that don't say anything. I don't think there's a right way to do it. I think there's the right way for you to do it. And part of the Bryce Young experience, this is what it all boils down to. And this is coming from somebody that has watched and read probably every word he said publicly since being drafted by the Panthers. Like every single, I'm not exaggerating. I've probably read or heard every word he has said publicly, like to a media outlet. I still think there is a bit of a front. I still think there is a part of him that is excellently media trained and is always trying to say the right thing. And is always trying to say what he thinks everybody wants to hear. And is always trying to be the CEO of the organization. And for better or worse, I've come to accept it. Like, I don't think we're going to get that real raw honesty that you get from certain athletes that can pull it off. I think you're always going to get the corporate answer from him. You're always going to get coach speak. You're always going to get, I'm doing my best to get better. I'm trying. I respect the opponent. They're good. We're good. Everybody's good. Coach is great. My teammates are awesome. Like, you're always going to get that. Somebody's got to be honest with me. It's going to be a 3-day minicamp. Right, there was all day yesterday. I believe they're already off the field today. There was a practice today, and there'll be a practice tomorrow. He's gonna make a bad throw. he's gonna get the snap cadence wrong. I'm not saying like every play. If you don't let me in, and if you don't be authentic, if you don't share honestly, right? If you aren't gonna do those things, then your praise just makes me go, what are you hiding? Or to put another way, have you ever had somebody in a relationship and you ask them, like, hey, how's it going with you and your lady? Or how's it going with you and your guy? Oh, it's great. It's great. It's unbelievable. Oh, we love each other. Oh, life's never been better. This is my dream. And you're just like, ooh, they got issues. I'm not going to pry into that one, right? It's that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. So there's something he has to work on. I promise you. I watched him all last year. You watched him all last year. He was like the 25th best passer in the league last year. There's things he has to work on. It's okay to address those too. If you intentionally distract me from the problems, I'm going to assume they're bigger problems than they actually are.
I think everybody just wants it to work out so much,
Exactly.
Especially with the way last year started with those first 2 games that maybe they're really are.
Everybody's rooting for the kid.
Yeah,
I 100% agree.
Maybe worry about a self-fulfilling prophecy, like if they start talking bad, like maybe things could turn back to how they were before. But personally, I think, especially in the second half of the year, he's shown that he's got that development, so there's a little less to worry about. And obviously the team's issues were more on the defensive side of the ball. But at the end of the day, he's still a third-year quarterback, who really year and a half because of getting benched last year. Obviously there are going to be some things he still needs to work on.
He 100% had confidence issues in the first half of last year. If you go watch, I think it was the game right before he got benched, there was a third down. It was maybe in fourth down. He scrambled to his left and just froze. And throw it away, right? Just throw it up for grabs. There was no bad decision there other than completely stop your feet and freeze. He had an inability to pull the trigger on some throws, and it was a confidence issue. I'm very confident in that. So maybe that's it. Maybe everyone's just like, oh, we've seen him deal with confidence issues in the past, so now we're going to treat him with kid gloves, and everything's going to be great, and every throw is going to be awesome, and everything he says is going to be Cam Newton-esque, and everything's going to be perfect, and everything's going to be awesome, and everything's going to be great. That's not doing anyone a favor, because he's going to be an NFL quarterback, and NFL quarterbacks need to be able to have the truth said right to their face, because they're going to learn eventually. Game day's coming. The Drive with Tim Donnelly will be on the road at Jacksonville. That's when you'll get the real truth if you hide it from him until then.
The pressure cooker of Trevor Banks Stadium.
Travis Hunter, will he play defense? I don't know. But if he's out there, he's going to try to make an interception, and he'll teach you. And then he'll like TikTok dance while he's celebrating.